All right, howdy. Welcome to the show. Bobby, good to see you, man. How
Yeah,
you doing?
I'm good. I'm still recovering from Vegas, man. I
Yeah. And then we stayed up too late talking the other night after we said we
oh
weren't.
dude, yesterday was a little rough. I was
Yeah.
I was pretty tired.
The 30 seconds I talked to you, I could tell.
Yeah, I was
You were
I was dying a little bit. It was too much. I went to Vegas Monday through Friday, and I probably stayed up till 2 almost
Mm,
every night, 2, 3, something like that.
can't do it, man.
Can't do that anymore.
Can't do it.
Can't do that. Even and I couldn't. What sucks about Vegas? Well, I don't know if it sucks about Vegas, but where we stayed, we rented this house, but it was like it was like felt like it was right underneath the airport. So it was like at 6 a.m. It was like all the plane
Mm-hmm.
starts, and I'm one of those people like I wake up and I cannot go back to sleep. Like I'm up, I'm
Mm-hmm.
up. So anyway, it was just a brutal stretch of just staying up too late.
It happens, man. It
I know.
happens. Well,
Not
it's good to
25
be,
anymore.
yeah. Well, it's good to be recording again because I feel we've been traveling between the two of us so much this month
Yeah, it's
that
been crazy.
we haven't really done a lot. We've had
Yeah.
Marco's been on, and we had Robert on. I just was like, I don't want to get behind.
Yeah.
I
How
want
was
to keep it
Marco?
going.
I haven't seen that episode
He
yet.
was good, man. Dude, it was
Yeah.
fun. It was a fun episode. One of the things I really want to talk to him about was just like, you know, how you include your kids in your brand, or if you do or don't, privacy basically as a family. I know he's a very private person, and he's got a big brand though. I mean, dude, he's almost 1 million YouTube subs,
Yeah.
which is pretty insane.
Yeah.
So I want to get his thoughts on that. And then Paige barged in, like
Yeah.
news,
As kids
what was it,
do.
news report style. Yeah. So I put her in my lap. And speaking of kids, Mason's art just came unscotch taped off the side of my wall.
He does the thing where doesn't he like put the smiley face over
He
his
puts
kid's
the
face?
smiley face over his daughter's face. Yeah.
Mm.
And so anyway, I just, that's something I'm always interested about. When I was at conference a couple of weeks ago, that was kind of one of my questions. There was a Q&A, and it was Carrie Campbell, so Brian Grasso's wife. She's a mom. And then this lady, Martha Creaky, who was talking about like building your brand and like, how do you find your, who's your ideal audience and that kind of stuff. And she talked about, family and how that fits in for her, and her daughter, is in her social media a lot. And so that was kind of my question to them, was like about that, because that's something I've always kind of wondered and struggled with and haven't really had an answer for. And so I wanted to talk to Marco about that too. So we talked about that, but he also, we covered a lot of things, man. I mean, you know how it is on this show. Like we just kind of go where the conversation takes us. So it's some interesting topics, got some YouTube sauce, it was good.
Man, I wonder if YouTube, I mean, you're building YouTube. I mean, I guess we're building a YouTube channel too, but what's after YouTube? Like what's the next thing? Because I had most of the week, like I've been talking about AI and all that kind of stuff. Like where, because like those videos, I actually got one of those outreach videos yesterday from somebody.
Okay.
They sent it to me, but they actually meant to send it to you and I. But it was just like a guy that was like, "Hey, Mike and Bobby." But if you look at the mouth closely, it's like you can tell it's AI generated. And so it's like it's not good enough. I mean, maybe if you didn't know it at all, like if you had no online, like it could have maybe tricked me. But it was just interesting. I was like, man, we're about to be in this weird place where like video isn't going to be real. Maybe like the computers can talk. Like I just wonder how that's going to affect YouTube content. Like, are they going to have to put like a watermark on some of this AI video content so that it's not like
I don't know. They've said that they're deprioritizing AI content.
Yeah, but I don't know how they do that.
Yeah,
I don't know. I think I just wonder about it from the YouTube perspective, because it seems pretty like that's one of the biggest problems. One of the things I thought about a lot is like video, like this is easy video content, but like when you're doing like topic YouTube content, like that takes a lot of time. And so it's like, can you start cranking out you can start cranking out those videos, but it's not actually you. But then it's like, does that devalue all of the content because it might all be fake?
Yeah,
but I don't know.
I think that's the big conversation in the industry right now. And for me, I mean, just where I'm at and where I think probably a lot of listeners are at, where I'm like, I'm just trying to consistently post. I do think, I mean, YouTube's had some really interesting announcements, like they're introducing YouTube podcasts. One of the big things so basically the way to work, you can put it in a channel or in a playlist, and then it's designated as a podcast. It shows up as suggested in YouTube Music and to other podcast listeners, which is a really cool feature. But one of the biggest things that they have coming out is like they're making their own RSS feed. So if you are a podcaster right now, like we are, you have to go pay for hosting an RSS feed. And then what that means, if you don't know what an RSS feed is like you publish it and then it distributes it to all the channels. So it goes to Apple Podcasts, it goes to Spotify, it goes to Stitcher, all the different things, and you're paying for that. And now YouTube's going to offer that for free. So, which is going to be interesting because it is a good move, but like Apple and Google are competitors. Is Apple going to accept YouTube RSS feeds? But if they do, then why would you not use YouTube? Why would you not use the free tool? They're probably going to do it better than anybody else. Like RSS feed tools suck. In general, you don't get good analytics and stuff. So it's going to be really interesting because you would automatically get better analytics on your podcast from YouTube than what you can get currently. So, I don't know what's next after YouTube. But I see what's next for YouTube. And then there's, this whole TikTok ban thing. I mean, I'm very interested to see how that goes. Can you update me on that? Cause like I went to Vegas. I didn't look at any news. I didn't do anything. And then I know a little bit about it, but what's going on? So they had the CEO, the CEO for TikTok USA, went before Congress, and it was really interesting because you had kind of like the conservative politicians like completely attacking this thing, and then you had kind of the more liberal politicians, at least not all of them, but like just from the little bits I saw, were more like, this seems wrong. Like free speech stuff. So it's a little bit of a role reversal from like what we've seen with other things. And so I think there's a lot of ignorance around social media. Like, you remember when Zuckerberg was interviewed, and it was so bad, and
they didn't know anything
and ask questions, and they had no clue. And so like there's this really funny thing going around because this one politician was complaining that like, well, I got on TikTok, I'm on there, and all I see is this, and this. And like, I don't think that's good for people. And I don't understand why it would be showing it to me. I'm not interested in that. And I won't get into what it was, but it was just funny because it was like, hey man, if you're seeing that, it's because you consumed it.
Right.
You just outed yourself because you consumed it, and now you're being seen it. So I just think there's like a lot of misunderstanding there. And, it's interesting, man, because like that platform right now, they're dealing with certain things like we've seen with Facebook, where there's some there's concern, and so it drops down. I know a TikTok coach, so to speak, and they're struggling right now because everybody's like, well, why would I invest in this if it's going to go away? So I don't know, man. This is like an easy top. We're talking about business, but it's so easy to go into politics with it, which I don't really want to do. But I don't know. I think it's going to be interesting because if they do shut it down, who benefits from that? You would think YouTube Shorts benefits from that, but they're very different algorithms and they're very different behavior. Like YouTube Shorts don't have the virality. Instagram's already said that they're not going to be emphasizing Reels anymore. They've moved away from it. They're still doing Facebook Reels, but it's just, so to me, it's more like who jumps in and grabs that power vacuum. Like if that happens. So
dude, I bet Facebook and Google are just chomping at the bit and probably like, oh, this is gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. What I saw about it recently is the only thing that I've seen about it. I think it might set a precedent for controlling more of the internet and controlling more of the social media. That's what I've seen, but I don't know if that's true. You know, how you see these things, it's like people just say stuff like that. So it'll be interesting. I mean, this has been
there's people. I mean, you can go look this up, and like I said, I don't want to get into the politics of it, but there are people that go through these bill proposals and things like that. Like, you know, I'm an attorney, but I'm talking about like attorneys that are way smarter than I am and actually practice. And so, you know, there's these people and they go through and they look at it and say, hey, this is what this means. This is where this is. This is like how it connects to this policy. And so there's definitely, with what's on the table right now, there's always, you know, there's always pork. There's a lot of pork, but there's a lot of pork around censorship. There's a lot of pork around free speech. And so that's my concern, right? And as I said, like, I don't really want to get into politics. Like I'm all about free speech. Like, you know, so that's my concern, is like your ability to create and to add value to the marketplace of ideas, whatever your ideas may be. Because I think what makes free speech great, and I think what makes it great for creators, is that we all have the ability to share our views and to share our ideas. And in a open marketplace of ideas, your ideas will sink or swim based on the merit and your ability to convey those ideas. And I like that. So I want people to be able to say things, even the things that I might not agree with, because if we don't have that discourse in our country, then I think it's trouble.
Oh yeah, I agree.
For lack of a better word. So I'm interested in that. Like, that's my concern, even as somebody who's really invested in TikTok as a platform, as a creator lately. I'm not as concerned about that going away. Like, if that goes away, like, whatever, I'll figure it out. There's going to be something else. But I'm concerned more about like what the implications of it are. Right. And
yeah.
So yeah, I think at the end of the day, you know, we've talked about like what we think happens. I don't think it gets banned. I think it gets sold off to
a US company. Yeah.
And I'm not sure that does anything, because from where the changes that they've made recently, from as I've been following it, like, it seems like they've already pretty much siloed the American portion of it. And so that was the CEO's argument, was like, with the things that we've put in place currently are meeting everything that y'all are already asking for. So a sale isn't actually going to create any other added benefit beyond perception. But nobody's watching those congressional hearings, so perception's big. And so I think that allows people to get a win without upsetting the apple cart. And so that's the way I think it would go.
Yeah. I don't know. That's going to be interesting. I think it just depends. Like, has China actually done anything with that data? Like, but nobody knows. That's the thing.
But has the US done anything with that data?
Well, they probably, but who, you know,
sure.
Like, we live here.
Yeah.
I understand.
We're
cool with that. You know,
I understand,
we're cool
but
with
it's
that
like,
for some reason.
Well, I don't want anybody using I don't mind. It's so funny. I don't mind as an advertiser, like, people using data for advertisements, but like, I don't want my information, my conversations, like, going to anybody. So I don't know. I think, it's going to be interesting. I'm interested to see it. I know that doesn't answer your question about like, what's the future for YouTube?
Well, with the AI knows that, but
the AI and stuff, that's going to be a big problem for him, you know? And it's, dude, some of this AI, like, deep fake stuff is kind of creepy.
Yeah, fortunately, it's not very good yet, but man, it's about to get. That's the thing that's kind of crazy. Like, every new version of ChatGPT that comes out is like significantly better. I mean, there's still a lot of things wrong with it, but like, there's I don't know. We were looking at the Bing last week. I was looking at the Bing chatbot thing that came out, which is pretty good. And then Google's got Bart, which is not very good. And there's like AI PRM. It's wild. You could just do like so many crazy things with it. Like, you could say, like, just, if you're building a website from scratch, like, you want to build like a niche site, like, you can just say, like, give me an SEO roadmap, and it'll just put out all the content you need to make, you know, like what you need to do to beat your competitors. It's like crazy.
You know, what's interesting is the audio stuff, man. The video, you could spot it, right? And I saw somebody that had done a video of like Biden giving a speech that was like really awful. It was really awful. But it was like, it was so clearly satirical.
Yeah.
Right. Like it was so clear.
Yes. Super fake.
Yeah. I'm going to try to like see if I get my lighting is just bad no matter what. It is what it is. So yeah, it was so clearly fake, but it was fake. It was clearly fake because of the content and what he was saying. Right.
Yeah.
And not like because it looked fake. But some of the audio stuff, man, like I saw somebody did a Kanye one, and dude, just listening to it, like if I just heard it, I would have thought it was a new Kanye song.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, this stuff's gonna get. I hope that these companies start putting watermarks on their content in some way. Like because I think they're gonna get regulated if they don't. Like I think that I think this stuff's gonna get fast tracked to regulation pretty quick, because it's so dangerous that they could put something out with Biden talking or whoever's the president talking and saying some wild shit, and then what happens with that? So I feel like that if these companies are responsible at all, they should do something so that we know what's real and what's fake. But I don't know, man. Companies like to make money. So
and how easy is it? Like you leak a recording of a private conversation of a person. Yeah. And like, I can see that, man. I can see that happening in politics. Like, can you, I mean, I just like totally screwed up this thing here, but like, can you see that? Like, if I'm just gonna say, like, if Trump were reelected, just because I know there's a lot of, like people would go crazy about that. But like, I could see somebody going like, hey, here's an audio of some inappropriate stuff that he said in his limo, and it coming out. And then like, if it's just audio, like how do you tell? How do you know? Right.
Yeah. People would, that guy says some wild stuff sometimes.
Exactly. So like this
is real.
Man. Yeah. And that's the thing. And that was why, like I said, Biden earlier, like Biden has trouble speaking sometimes. And sometimes he says he has like a slip, but he doesn't just regularly say wild stuff. Right. Whereas like Trump does. Yeah. So you can see, like, you could hear it and go, I could see him saying that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So how do you know it's real? Right. And that's the same for,
it's not good,
man. How many, like celebrities or even business owners, like where they get just destroyed for a tweet.
Oh yeah.
Right. In the past, like, wasn't it like Kevin Hart, like that lost like the Oscars or something because of some 8-year-old tweet?
Yeah. He said something. God, what did he say?
I don't remember something like it, but
it was something like, if my son was in a dress, I'll hit him with a dollhouse or something. It was something, very ridiculous. But I mean, especially in that climate when, people were not happy about this thing.
But it's just just imagine like somebody goes, hey, look at this, this thing we unearthed,
It makes me nervous. We're in a weird time. It's like everything's changing so fast, which is like, there's opportunity in that. If you can figure out how to take advantage of some of those changes, and like, those are things that like I'm looking at, and I know we're looking at, like, but man, it's just all moving so quickly. And then you get lists like TikTok ban, AI. Like I miss the days when it was just like Facebook, like very steady Facebook stuff. Had some YouTube and
people aren't paying attention to this though. Like dude, I never would have thought that this would be something that we would talk about so much on the show this year. Like the first time we brought it up, I thought that was going to be the one and only time that we talked about it, honestly. And it's been a constant. It just keeps coming up because things keep happening. And it's one of those things, like, you and I are not keeping up with it as much as other people in the industry. Right. But we know what's going on with that a heck of a lot more than our family and our friends do.
Yeah.
Like, and so it's just not a, you were talking to me about like the AI generated stuff in blogs and how that's going to change everything with Google and organic. And like your mom, when she searches on Google, She doesn't know that. She
Oh,
has
she
no
has no
clue that it's AI, that this, what stuff is AI generated. Like,
Yeah.
why would she know that? You know, like even when you label it, right? Like, I don't know what that's called, but like the little breadcrumbs at the top, and it's like, this was generated by AI, and this little disclaimer thing, you know, and it's like, this was authored by AI, edited by real person Susie. Like, you know that because you're in the industry, you see it, but we don't.
They don't even read
as
it,
consumers, we don't read that. I don't look at the author. The only time I look at the author, like, man, I read an article the other day, and it was a dude, one of my favorite authors. This writer went to his house with some other writers for this event, and they spent a couple of days at the house. You know, they had dinner. They went to a local, you know, all this local stuff. Like, spent all this time together, and then this dude like runs out and writes a hit piece about him being a hack because he's Mormon. And it's like, what? Yeah. Like, you can't do that. And so like, I looked at that guy's name, like that writer, because I was like, man, you know, like, this dude welcomed you in his home. You met his family, like, and that's what you come out and like attack a religion. Like, I don't really care what you think about the religion, even if it, you know, I don't care if it was Catholicism or, you know, Scientology or like whatever. Like, you don't do that. It was so ridiculous. So I looked at that guy's name, but I don't normally do that. I don't look at the author realistically, you know. If I know the author, it's because I know I'm reading on their website.
Yeah.
Oh, this is from Mark Manson because I'm on markmanson.com.
I don't even know what that is.
He's the dude that wrote, what's it called? Something like the something of not giving a flip.
This is an lost show ending, but I got to go to a meeting.
It's all good, man. You have any last notes?
Man, we're screwed. We might be screwed with this AI stuff. I don't know. Next episode, we won't talk about AI. We talk about it a lot. It's just, man, it's happening so fast, but there's so many different things going on.
Hey, we should do one of those like AI generated podcasts. It's like, see like AI Bobby and AI Mike and see what happens with the conversation.
Oh man, it probably, yeah.
All right. Well, guys, thanks for listening. Yep. See you next week. Be sure to subscribe. Let us know what you think on AI.
Yes.
There was a weird pause there. I thought of that. That's all right. Later, guys.